Hey everybody, this is Andy Wynn with Wynn Photography here in Denver. I'm just going to show you really quick the Quick Develop module it's under the library module of Photoshop. So the Quick Develop features here are on the side. I intentionally changed the white balance on these photos to make them all kinds of blue. Looks like a mess right now, so I'm going to show you how to quickly modify all of these photos in the first step of your pre-processing before you take them into Photoshop. So this is Akila. She's a model based in Lander, Wyoming. She comes down here to Denver pretty frequently, so that's good for us. So she's gorgeous and really good at what she does. So the quick develop settings here, it's kind of like a mini version of the develop module here in Lightroom. So you see that my white balance right now is set to tungsten. So I did change that, but I think I had it on cloudy or daylight to start with, but I changed it to tungsten so we can see this really nasty kind of a bluish kind of effect to these photos. So under the quick develop settings, you'll see we have a place for presets. If you have a custom preset, you can put that in there real quick. White balance, you can change that real fast. You change the temperature, the tint, and all the different tone, exposure, contrast, and stuff like that. So what I'm going to do is just focus on one photo for now. I'm just going to make that a little bigger so I can see. I'm going to start taking the temperature up a little bit. So you can see that's starting to look better already. This was shot at sunset, so what I'm looking for is like a really nice warm glow to these images. Now they're looking a little bit green, so what I'm going to do is click the small right arrow to throw a little bit of magenta in there. That looks pretty good. Alright, so just like that, the photo is looking much better. I can boost the contrast. Difference between the little arrow and the big arrow is, the big arrow is going to give you more of that effect. I want to go little increments as much as possible, unless I know that there's going to be quite a bit of an adjustment I need. I'm going to pull the exposure down a little bit to make it a little more, just a little darker there. Boost the contrast. I'm going to pull the darks down just a little bit, so the blacks, pull them down just to make sure her hair's nice and black. To me, that looks pretty good. I mean, that's a good starting point for if I take this photo into Photoshop. So we did the quick develop here. On second thought, I'm going to add a little clarity. Clarity essentially gives the illusion of making the image sharper, and what it does actually is it boosts the contrast of the midtones in the image, which is where the majority of the sharpness in an image is perceived. So that's clarity. Vibrance is just going to make things a little color pop just a little bit more. It's similar to saturation, but it kind of keeps the skin tones from getting too colorful. So it focuses more on greens and photos that are not yellows, reds, and oranges, which are what your skin tones are. So okay, so once I got one fixed pretty well, I'm going to shift click the last image. They're all selected. The lighter border around this one means that this is the one that is primarily selected. From there, I'm going to go down here to sync settings and click on that. Make sure everything's checked. This means that everything, all the settings from that original image are going to be synchronized to the rest of the photos. And just like that, we have everything fixed in that image stack there. This one looks to me a little bit underexposed, so I'm just going to pop the exposure up real quick. So if I'm working on one or two images at a time, I will not use the quick develop settings. I'll actually go into the develop module and tweak my initial color balance, contrast, and clarity, that kind of thing. But say for example you are shooting a wedding and you have about 500 guest photos and dance photos and stuff like that. As long as your camera settings, which are represented up here in the upper right corner, and your white balance is about the same, you can copy and paste settings for hundreds of images all at once. As long as the exposure in the originals is similar, you can save yourself a ton of time in your workflow. So that is that. These photos look like they're ready to go to Photoshop. I'd probably take them into the develop module and make a couple tweaks here and there, especially on exposure and that kind of thing. But for the most part, you can see how you can quickly change all kinds of different things and apply those changes quickly to a huge set of images and save you a ton of time. So one more reason why you should consider using Photoshop. Again, my name is Andy Wynn. I run Wynn Photography out of Denver. I do all kinds of skills training, including themed photo shoots and that kind of thing. And subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll have more videos for you. Thanks. See you around.